The story so far. The dangerous outlaw Leon Cabraz, the lawman John Malcolm, assigned by blackmailing ranger Lindsay Kurtz to hunt Cabraz down. Joining him, sharpshooting rancher Catherine Angle, the tailor's assistant Morwenna Abrams, the railway worker Albert Little, the master hunter Drew Morrill, the bounty hunter Walden McDonald, and the heroic Mexican lawman Javier Salvador. Together, they are known as the Lion Goats. Sent to deal with a bunch of cattle rustlers, the Lion Goats had successfully returned to Primer Punto with the rescued cattle and retreated to a celebration from the overjoyed townspeople. The next day, they sat in the cantina for an early morning drink. Javier soon joined them.
I just spoke with Salamanca. No word yet on the next assignment.
They must be cooking up something good then.
There was a noise from outside, similar to the celebrations the night before. Javier and John stood by the window and looked out. A horse-drawn cart had arrived, piled high with sacks and crates. People milled around it excitedly. The driver stood and called out.
People, a new delivery of goods. Fresh fruit and vegetables, straight from the farms of Leon Cabras. Drinks and meats too. Come grab your share.
Did he just say Leon Cabras?
He did. Shall we check it out?
Yeah. Sir, where did you say these came from?
The farms of Leon Cabras, sir.
Farms?
What farms? Where are these farms?
I don't know, sorry. I picked these carts up outside Nuevo Laredo. I have not been to any farm.
Why are you delivering these?
The people need help, sir. Don't you know?
I'm afraid my friend is a little new to these parts, if you couldn't tell. I myself do not know these deliveries.
Oh, Javier Salvador. It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you, but why are you doing this?
What's the cost of all this? What do people of Primer Punto owe Cabras?
Oh, I don't understand.
What do they pay for these goods?
Nothing, Mr. Salvador. It's a gift from Leon Cabras to keep the people of this region happy.
Happy? Why happy? What do you mean?
Not to disrespect our government, sir, but they have other things they think more important than looking after its people.
And Cabras does look after you.
See?
And in return?
Nothing.
Now this ain't right. What else you got in there? Guns? Munitions?
No, it's just food, drink, and other supplies.
Thank you for your help, sir. This is strange. Why would he do this?
That's the $2,000 question.
The triumphant return of the Lion Goats with the village cattle wasn't celebrated by all. It prompted a woman called Eva to ride out west overnight. The next morning, she arrived at a small wooden shack in the middle of the plains, a line of telegraph poles leading into the distance. She entered the shack and approached a lone man sitting at the counter.
I need to send a message to my brother.
The telegraph was drafted and sent down the wire. Many miles away it was received and printed out. The attendant carried it down a narrow stone passageway through a basement more akin to a manor's house drawing room than a place to stow things. Candles lit bookshelves and fancy paintings. A taxidermied bear stood beside a potted palm and globe of the world. A well-groomed man in a satin smoking jacket sat at his desk filling a ledger as the attendant presented him with the telegram. Leon Cabraz leaned back in his chair and looked at the telegram, holding it to the light to read it.
Leon, it is your sister Eva. I was in Primer Punto and a group of Americans arrived a few days ago. They have captured thieves and murderers and used your name for credit. The local sheriff leading them proudly claimed this, and the people think your deeds are done by them. At your word, I will remove them and return the honor to you.
That is odd. Come on, let us write her a reply.
Eva, he has replied.
My sister Eva, how good it is to hear from you. The story you share is a puzzling one. I believe it is in our best interests to leave it be. Do not worry yourself and return home, your brother, Leon.
Dios mío, write a reply quickly. Perhaps you are not taking this seriously. Americans invade our country, steal your work from you. What is to say they don't start doing bad things in your name too? I do not need to remind you of the vendetta the government has against you. They will use this against you.
My sister Eva, I understand your concern. I believe the people to be smarter than you give them credit for. They will see through the lies and know that anything bad in my name is false. Nothing bad has yet happened, and I see no cause for alarm. Your brother, Leon.
Leon, how can you be so foolish?
Eva, I am not being foolish. The people who use the name Leon Cabras do not yet cause harm to anyone. It is foolish to assume that they would until their intentions are known. The best course of action is to wait. If you cared for me, you would.
The best course of action, brother, is to strike. It is clear you have forgotten the shame and danger you faced 15 years ago when you fell out of favor with the Mexican government. Why is it you hide away in a bunker away from the world and risk the lives of me and your workers and the common people? You are out of touch and fail to realize the danger you are in. I shall hire a group of mercenaries who will track these liars. Through fire and blade and rope, they shall know the fury of the Cabras.
Oh, Eva, what has become of you? Quick, send another through. Eva, your passion is to be admired. I see now the danger they could pose, but do not risk your life. Over this, come to my farm, and we can plan this together. Your brother, Leon.
The telegram was sent and received at the wooden shack in the desert, but it was too late. Eva had already gone. Back in Primer Punto, the next telegram from Kurtz and Laredo instructed the lion goats to travel east. A bunch of headhunters holed up in a cave, and as they only used axes, our heroes made short work of them and rescued the captured hostages.
I know you work for Cabras. Leon Cabras, where is he?
I don't know. I don't work for him.
This is weird. They're all American again.
So they are. Strange.
I won't hold it against them. These guys do pretty good work. Hey, Moena, check this out for future reference.
Stop it, MacDonald.
Mr. MacDonald, please do not throw severed heads at people.
Their next assignment took them further east to the Mexican shores of Falcon Lake to take down some poachers. Again, it was easy.
We are the Lion Goats, and we have been sent to find and capture Leon Cabras. Do you know who he is?
I have no idea who he is.
American?
Yeah, from Virginia.
Salamanca kept on giving them assignments, but still nothing seemed to draw them any closer to Leon Cabras. To the north in Nuevo Laredo, Eva Cabras had much luck in rallying support to hunt down our heroes. Desperate, she turned to a bunch of mercenaries, the worst of the worst.
Years ago, my brother, Leon Cabras, worked for the people of Mexico. Yet he clashed with the new government he worked for, and he was branded a radical. Radical for wanting to help when all they wanted was to steal and kill. The good were forced to go under, while criminals run our country into the ground. I gave up my life to see my brother's good work continue, and now the Americans want to cause him pain, taking over his cause? They call themselves the Lion Goats, a mockery of Leon's name. Now they stop bandits and thieves to gain the people's trust. But how long until they turn? And they will turn, this I know. And you will stop all of them before this turn happens. People will think they simply scurried back home while they lie in a desert grave. Perhaps they can even be convinced to return. But I know the Americans do not take no for an answer. For the last week they have resided outside Primo Punto, but I have since heard they went east. Find them, and you shall be rewarded beyond the usual payment.
The next day, the Lion Goats had again set up camp, awaiting the message from Javier's contact, Salamanca.
I think we've got to start asking around more. No one we've arrested has any connection to Cabras, but a few townspeople have. Should head back into town and ask around.
We already have.
Really? When did you do that?
Yesterday after that cart came in, Moena and I went around and asked. They seemed more willing to talk to me than anybody else. Not everybody knew who we were talking about. Yeah, most had never heard of him. The people that struggled, though, most of them knew the name and just said that he was responsible for the cart coming in with supplies during difficult months. And that's happened for a few years now, by no regular schedule.
Why didn't you tell us before?
We're telling you now. Besides, we were riding off to presumably confront him soon after, and we've not stopped since. I think we should ask more people. Not in the town where we've been. They start to get suspicious, but wherever we end up next.
You know, I don't consider myself to be an unreasonable person, Drew. All I ask for is a fair day's pay after a fair day's work. Instead, they've got us running around the country in search of some phantom. As Malcolm says, cleaning up any mess the government couldn't see fit to deal with themselves. And here I am playing second fiddle. No, not even second fiddle. Playing triangle to some Indian woman playing civilized.
Miss Abrams? She's all right. Was talking to her earlier. She was born and raised in Laredo and worked as a tailor. She's never so much been on a reservation. Wouldn't have known if I hadn't asked.
Really? Okay, maybe I was a little hasty there. But I mean, why am I tossed aside? Wasn't my fault that guy's foot exploded, was it? I said, wasn't it, Drew?
What? Oh, no, I mean, it was an accident. The shotgun was loaded.
Well, no, I knew it was loaded. But I wasn't to know it was to go off. I mean, just like that priest I shot in... Oh, sorry. I mean, just like that priest you shot in Sioux Falls. You weren't to know that was to happen. But remember, Drew, you and me, we've got to stick together. When that cheap bastard Salamanca rocks up, we tell him we want clear instructions on where Cabras is. No more beating about the bush. Or at very least payment for what we've done so far. And if the others get in the way, well, like I said, it's just you and me. You got that?
Got it. But hopefully it won't come to that.
Javier had a visit from a local farmer. Once he left, John approached.
What was that for?
Oh, a local farmer asked for help. I said we'd do what we can. Some of his sheep and goats have been attacked. He even joked it was a chupacabra.
A what?
Chupacabra. It's a kind of demon or folklore creature. It means goat sucker.
Oh, chupa sucker. Yeah, I've heard that before. What was the other word?
Cabra. It means goat.
And if you had more than one goat, would it be Cabras?
See?
And what does Leon stand for?
Lion. Lion. Goats.
Do you mean to tell me we've been wandering around Mexico for the last week, calling ourselves Leon Cabras? How did this happen?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Drew. He suggested it. Mr. Morrow, here, please.
How did you not realize before, Javier, that lion goats and Leon Cabras meant the same thing?
It never occurred to me. Leon was a name, lion a thing.
You called?
Where did you get the name lion goats from?
That was on the telegram I picked up last week when we first arrived in Primo Punto. Only I got to the train station and for some reason the telegram had been translated from English to Spanish.
Why would something like that happen?
I don't know. The guy walked away before he had a chance to explain. Lucky, there was a helpful man there who helped turn it back into English.
So what? He saw the name Leon Cabras and translated it literally to lion goats?
You know, I did think it was a little strange when he said that, but I also thought it sounded like a good name.
Every other telegram instruction I read myself, and I never spotted it. Do you think we've been running in circles, chasing ourselves?
No. I think we've been traveling around Mexico telling everyone we either are or work for the most dangerous outlaw in the land, stealing his infamy.
Okay, we'll start calling ourselves that now. It shouldn't cause too much damage. Should it?
The damage had already been done. Eva Cabra's hired mercenaries had just found the camp, and they were seconds away from attacking, intent on wiping them all out and restoring her brother Leon's name. Will our heroes manage to survive this? Tune in next time to find out.